Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
Welcome into week one preview here on the Hawks Eye View. I'm Andrew Barber here with Drew Shipley. Drew, how you feeling this week?
I got my new shirt. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great, bro.
Oh, let's go. I gotta go
to Chris.
I gotta go get mine.
You gotta go all the way to. You gotta go all the way to Norwalk.
It's a tough drive, man. What can I say?
Yeah, the Highway 5 bypass and all 12 cars out there.
It's a treacherous road to Norwalk. It's a treacherous road.
Shit.
I'll find my way out to get my shirt here very soon. So, looking forward to week one podcast here. Week one opponent, Illinois State. You get a chance to listen to Hawk Talk. I know you're a regular listener of Hawk Talk. You get a chance to listen to it last night?
Dude, I totally blew it last night. Yeah, no, I did not. Last night, Andrew, I had our bowling meeting for the season. So we're joining a brand new league. I don't know if you know this or not, but I used to bowl on league for like forever, since I was 5 years old. But this is the first one I've done since we moved out to DC, and this is year 3. So I've been kind of itching to bowl, but didn't really find anybody to bowl with. But now I have a coworker and her wife, and then Jenny's, my future wife, is joining us. So we have a team. We're going to go to Fort Belvoir, it's a little bit of a drive from here, but military installation bowl on Wednesday nights. And then on top of that, right after that meeting was my first fantasy football draft of the year. So I was pretty tied up. Specifically last night, so I did not get a chance. I heard some one-liner zingers from Kirk, so it seems like he's in good spirits after the self-imposed one-game punishment. So, I think all things will be well come Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I think Kirk is in good spirits and doing well, and that is kind of the big story here. Is it's the first time since 1978 that neither Hayden Fry nor Kirk Ferentz. So first time in my lifetime that neither one of those guys will be on the sideline on a Saturday. So that's going to be an interesting storyline for week one and week two.
Yeah. I mean, I was born in 85, Andrew, so I haven't seen either anybody other than Hayden Fry or Kirk Ferentz either. So, and I'm almost 40. So that's a long damn time.
Right. Exactly. But it's going to be Seth Wallace taking over the reins for week one, and he's pretty good motivator from what I understand. A lot of former players have nothing but good things to say about Coach Wallace. They like Coach Wallace a lot.
Since you're on this topic, Andrew, before we move any further, what do you think goes into that decision of naming like that interim coach, right? Like why would it not be Phil Parker? Why would it not be, you know what I mean? Like Phil Parker, obviously, the defense is is and has been the catalyst of 10-win seasons for Iowa. 3 out of the last 4 years. What do you think goes into that decision? Like, Seth Wallace is he just going to be out there motivating folks and letting the coordinators do the coordinating, and then he's just kind of the face type of deal, you think?
Yeah, so if you'll remember before the season, Seth Wallace got actually elevated to assistant head coach, and I think that's for this sole purpose, that's as far as like the decision-making process goes, is he holds the title of assistant head coach in the event that Kirk Ferentz is out. Seth Wallace is the head coach. If it was last season, I think it'd be a bit more of an interesting conversation of who actually steps up. Is it Phil? Is it LeVar? Is it Seth? Is it someone else? I really think it's just going to be he's the figurehead. Maybe he'll make some of the decisions about calling timeouts. Maybe he'll have, but I think Tim Lester is going to control the offense and Phil's going to control the defense, and maybe Seth will have some input on like timeouts. And he's going to give the pregame speech.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting dynamic. And, it's funny that you said that, and the timing of Seth Wallace being named the assistant head coach. Maybe some foreshadowing of this self-imposed suspension maybe was sooner than they told us type of deal. Because we haven't had like an assistant head coach title per se, right? Like before, or have we?
No, not in the Kirk era, but I think that was more a move to keep Seth Wallace in the program, because Seth Wallace actually turned down more money to stay at Iowa. He had multiple head coach offers from multiple Power 4 programs to go there.
That's interesting to me, considering he would just jump the whole coordinator gig. Like you just go from position group to head coach.
Yeah. Yeah, he had multiple offers.
That is interesting to me. I didn't realize he was that well sought after, I guess.
Yeah, he was. So, and that came with a $250,000 raise, right? Getting elevated to that position.
Shit.
But still, overall, less money for him to stay at Iowa just to be a part of the Iowa program.
Coach in waiting?
I don't think Iowa's going to do the coach in waiting thing, because the situation's never worked out.
Maybe not like officially or publicly.
Yeah.
But I mean, gosh, who was it? Well, I mean, the whole Harbaugh thing, right? Wasn't Sharon Moore the coach in waiting in his contract?
Essentially.
Like it was literally contractually obligated, which like negated the whole like Rooney rule of having to like I know Rooney is like NFL, but it's still like equal opportunity in college athletics as well. Whatever the equivalent of the college hiring bylaws or whatever it is, that they have to interview so many people. Like I think they were able to skip that because he was contractually obligated to be the next head coach.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how that ends up panning out.
Well, I think there will be an open search once Kirk Ferentz retires. There will be an open search. Seth Wallace will probably be a part of that.
Open search.
There will. But I think Seth Wallace will be a part of that. I think Tim Lester, if he does a good job, will be a part of that. LeVar Woods will obviously be a part of that. So that's where I'm at. So,
I'm just excited to see what the team looks like without Kirk on the field. Like I really am. Like like a glimpse to the future, like post Ferentz, right? So like I'm kind of excited to see how the team performs, how plays are called, if anything different offensively, obviously. Which I mean, even if Kirk was there or not, we've all been told that Tim Lester's got full reins. So I guess we'll really find out if that's the case.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to look insanely different for just 1 week. And I don't think Iowa's going to be wanting to show too much of what they've got, especially offensively, in a week 1 matchup with an opponent that they should physically on paper just overwhelm. I think they're going to put a strong emphasis on running the ball. I think they're going to throw the ball maybe 20 times on Saturday, run it 40 to 50, and let the chips fall where they may. So that being said, though, I think Illinois State, let's talk about them a little bit. They are FCS top 25. It depends where you look, anywhere from 20th to 24th. And the FCS, they play in the Missouri Valley. So that's a conference with NDSU, SDSU, UNI, all the Dakotas, and UNI, Missouri State. So they did finish the year 6-5. They just missed the playoffs last year, but they have a couple of guys who were first team all conference that are back. Running back Mason King and linebacker Amir Abdullah. So they do have some talent at the FCS level. A couple of second team guys as well, and some honorable mention guys also. And then they brought in some transfers, specifically from the FBS. They brought in a punter from Iowa State, actually. One of the backup walk-on punters at Iowa State is going to be the punter at Illinois State. They brought in Jake Rubley from Kansas State, who Iowa recruited. And if you remember, was in Colorado, moved to Valley in 2020 for the COVID year because Colorado wasn't playing football and played.
Oh, so he was in that class with like Arlen Bruce and
Yeah, he was in the Arlen Bruce class, and he came to Iowa to play for Valley. There's another wide receiver from Kansas State, Xavier Lloyd, a couple of offensive linemen, one from Minnesota. So they've bolstered their team a little bit with some FBS guys that are transferring down. And I think they're going to play. I think there's still a quarterback battle going on between Rubley, who they brought in from Kansas State, and Tommy Rittenhouse, who's a junior who's been at Illinois State for 3 years. So I'm not exactly sure who they're going to roll out. We might see both quarterbacks for Illinois State on Saturday. And then their defense, it is a 3-4 attacking defense. I mentioned Amir Abdullah. He had almost 10 sacks last year from the linebacker spot. So he kind of plays more out on that edge and comes down as a pass rusher.
Kind of like a Khalil Mack type.
Yeah, if you want to think of it that way. Yeah. I think that's pretty much the gist of what Illinois State does on defense. So that is that's just my high level. I looked up some Illinois State preview material, and that's what I could find. So Mason King, I think, is the focal point on offense. He was a first teamer. He was the newcomer of the year. He used to be at Northern Illinois. So last year was his first year at Illinois State after transferring in from Northern Illinois. 14 touchdowns and just under 1,000 yards. They brought in a transfer from Western Illinois. They use a fullback on offense, so they're like the old Iowa offense where they employ a fullback. So that'll be familiar to Iowa fans. But really, I think they base their game plan on running the football effectively and playing an attacking style of defense. They play a 3-4. Iowa plays a 4-2-5. Sorry, not a 4-3. We don't do 4-3 very much anymore. So there's some similarity there between the two. Ben Applegate says punting is winning. Yeah, I'm assuming that was when we were talking about the Iowa State punter. So we'll see. So and me going through all that.
I mean, Illinois State's got 4 preseason All-Americans according to what's his darn name? Phil Steele. There it is. Phil Steele. I was having a brain fart there. So there's a wide receiver out there as well that is a preseason All-American. Hold on 1 second. I got it. I lost it. This is terrible. This is bad. This is bad radio, Andrew.
Daniel
Sobkowitz.
However you want to say it.
I feel like you avoided his name so you didn't have to pronounce it, Andrew. That's what I feel.
I sure did.
I feel like that you had the other two guys right there. Hunter Zambrana, offensive lineman. So I mean they got weapons at all three levels on offense. So it'll be interesting. I mean, according to the GoRedbirds.com, they're number 19 in the FCS. So I mean, a ranked FCS opponent, I don't think is going to be a pushover by any means. I think I said 24-10 in our season preview. A very season opener like Iowa effort, I think, is what I predicted. Kind of underwhelming. Defense does the defense, and we score enough to win type deal. Yeah. So I mean, they got talent on the field at the FCS level, Andrew, and those guys got more reason to play than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, there is some talent there. It doesn't give me a lot of pause. And also the Kirk Ferentz thing, I think the players have said it, and I really believe it. They're going to rally around this Kirk Ferentz suspension thing. I think that's going to be the motivator for a lot of the season, actually. Even beyond the suspension, I think there's going to be a pretty big boost from it in week 1 and week 2. So I'm feeling pretty good. I just want to see the running game just dominate because they should. We've heard the offensive line talked up quite a bit by Kirk, by everyone. We've heard that the offensive line is mauling people. Kamari Moulton, RB1. That was a surprise to a lot of people.
Interesting.
But I think that just speaks to, man, he must be really good because we have 3 other guys that are very talented.
Yeah, Jazion Patterson's the 4th string.
Jazion Patterson is the 4th string.
And he might be the most explosive of the 4.
Well, that might be Moulton now. Based off what I've heard, Moulton is kind of Moulton and Caleb Johnson are probably our explosive guys. Sean Williams is your solid do everything kind of guy. Jazion Patterson can bring a little bit of a change of pace there. We got 4 guys.
It's really hard to predict, Andrew, like who's going to get the actual share of carries at the end of the day, regardless of who Kirk Ferentz puts on the top of the depth chart. Like we've seen where Caleb Johnson's been the top of the depth chart and got we don't even see him to the second quarter or some shit. Like some bizarre Good thing there's not college fantasy football, and we never take Iowa running backs because you never know which one he's going to play. You don't get any sense of rhyme or reason of why they substitute the way they do. I mean, unless they drop the ball on the ground, well, then he's always in they're in Kirk's doghouse for at least the rest of the game. That's the way it's always been. But if you don't see anything outside of the ordinary of just running the ball, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they divvy up the carries.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of 2015, the 2015 running back room. If you'll remember, that had Kinseri, LaShawn Daniels, and Akram Wadley. So that was a pretty deep running back room there for Iowa. So Kinseri was your reliable guy. LaShawn was your power guy. Akram Wadley was obviously the best all-around.
God, Jordan Canzeri, I feel got his doctorate at Iowa by the time he was done playing football.
Yeah.
It seemed like he played for 7 years.
Yeah, but this running back room, I think, is very comparable to that in a lot of ways. Maybe more explosion, maybe not the outright power guy that you had in LaShawn Daniels, but I think there's some sort of comparison there between 2015. Interesting parallel too between the 2015. I don't know if we talked about this in our season preview or in the off season at all, but 2014, we got smoked by Tennessee in a bowl game.
Josh Dobbs, that was Jake Rudock's last game. We did talk about that.
Yeah, and then what happened in 2015? We went 12-0.
The very next day in the final season presser, Kirk Ferentz named CJ Beathard the starting quarterback. You remember that?
Yeah.
The season closing press conference, the day after they got trucked, they named CJ Beathard the starting quarterback.
Yeah, I'm just more going for the parallel of Iowa losing badly to Tennessee and then going 12-0 the next year. Now, I'm not
I see what you did there.
I'm not saying
there's a conspiracy, but you're saying.
But then the running back room, and then what we think should be improved quarterback play, new offense, right? We were done with the Greg Davis thing after 2014. We were.
Then you got Luke Lachey and Addison Ostranga, a la George Kittle and Henry Krieger Coble and Noah Fant.
Sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's a little bit of comparison there.
Listen, Cade McNamara is no CJ Beathard, though. Come on.
No, but he possesses like that leadership moxie that CJ Beathard had.
That's true.
To an extent, right? I'm not saying it's the same by any means. So just, I don't know. There's some interesting stuff.
Drawing some compos. You're a glass half full kind of guy today, Andrew. I like it.
I
like your vibe.
I am. I'm not maybe glass half full, but I just think Iowa's at their best when they have a solid stable of running backs and a legit offensive line, and I think we might have that.
What scares me, Andrew, is like everybody's like, oh, the floor for this team is 10 wins. Like, where do you see, like, there's only one game where they're not favorites, you know, like what could go wrong? And usually in those seasons end up in an 8-4, 7-5 type of deal. So like, I'm not trying to play devil's advocate, but every time it seems like the things and the stars align for a special season, you know, we trip on our dicks and lose to Minnesota at home or something, you know, like
right,
something bullshit like that just kind of spirals out of control. But I mean, if out of control 7-8 win seasons, then like how spoiled are we really at being Iowa Hawkeye football fans and this new Big Ten? Like so much talent's coming to the conference in USC, Washington, Oregon, even UCLA to an extent. They were an 8-win team last year. Quietly, somehow they won 8 games. Like what was it? Right. 2 years ago they won 1. Like they came out of freaking nowhere. But everybody's kind of picking Penn State to make the college football playoff. Drew Aller, everybody's tripping over him and his talent. Which, I mean, I think he's overrated personally.
I'm right with you. I'm with you on the Drew Aller hype. I'm not there.
No.
I think we're going to see that this weekend. West Virginia, man, I'm taking
the points since I'm a degenerate. I'm taking the 8.5 points, man. Like that's big to go
easy
and into Morgantown like that. That's
easy. I'm sprinkling a little bit on West Virginia to just win outright. I think West Virginia should be ranked, and they're not.
You know, I have a coworker that is from, you know, by God, West Virginia. He loves his Mountaineers. He loves West Virginia, and he told me I would be stupid if I spent $1 on betting on West Virginia this weekend.
Oh, really?
Doesn't believe in the coach, I guess, and then you know, just kind of the quarterback play hasn't been up to. He's kind of the glass half empty kind of guy, Andrew. So like, okay. Listen, he's a Cowboys fan too, so that tells you everything you need to know about expectations.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think he's concerned about quarterback play and the head coach. But I mean, opening week in Morgantown, I think it's going to be close. You know, I think it's going to be a 1-possession game. At minimum.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. There's your Big 12, Big 10 breakdown.
There we go. I think this is a good time to take a little bit of a break. We'll hear from all of our excellent sponsors, and then we'll come back.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com. Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing your home, or if it's simply time to renovate the one you're already living in, you need an experienced mortgage professional to help you analyze your financing options and to make sure the closing goes smoothly. And that's exactly what you get when you call Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. Kyle's experience and expertise, coupled with Wintrust's rates and programs, ensures you'll get the mortgage that's right for you. You may even qualify for down payment assistance. Before you reach out to a realtor, call Kyle and get pre-qualified, empowering you to start shopping for the home of your dreams. Call Kyle at 515-473-0546. Kyle Lehman, Wintrust Mortgage, 515-473-0546. In 2023, a crack Green Beret named Dan Douglas retired his military command and promptly escaped to a full-time career in real estate. Today, this man is wanted by home buyers and sellers who want to survive the process without spending a fortune. If you have a home to sell or want to buy one, maybe you can hire Dan Douglas at Green Beret Realty. You can find him at greenberetrealty.com. greenberetrealty.com.
All right, welcome back. Thank you to our sponsors, and thank you to Ben Applegate for always listening. He's got a great question for us here. Do you guys anticipate Sullivan playing a percentage of snaps this weekend? I certainly do plan on seeing Sullivan some point in the second half. I think once there's a comfortable lead, I think that'll be Sullivan time. And yeah, I can see them trying to experiment with both quarterbacks in game one here and just trying to see what works. So I think Tim Lester has the freedom and he'll feel free to do that. And I'm of the mindset that there's not a particular long leash for Cade McNamara either. So if for whatever reason it's not going well, I don't think Tim Lester will hesitate to pull the plug and put Brendan Sullivan in there if for some reason Cade can't get the job done.
So I'm on the opposite side of the coin there, Andrew. Due to my prediction of 24-10, workman-like kind of game, I think the offense is going to need some continuity going into Cyhawk. I think they're going to need all those end-game reps while they can. You named Cade McNamara the starting quarterback. You go down with the ship, which I'm not saying that they're going down per se. Obviously 24-10 Iowa. But I think you're going to need end-game reps going into Cyhawk. I said this on the preview episode too, that I missed the fact that Cyhawk's not the week 3 game. Just because of how much it actually means to both teams later on down the line. Like, need some more reps to get like the best quality game, I guess, is what I'm getting at, Andrew. The Hawks play better in November than they do in September, in my opinion, traditionally. But we'll see when we get there. Cyhawks next week, but I don't see a scenario where you see both and cause a controversy going into Cyhawk.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Iowa fans have never been known to cause controversy at the quarterback spot.
Ride or die. Utah State captain Spencer Petras. Shout out.
But if Cade struggles and Kirk is sitting at home week 1, Does Tim make a switch? Well, again, we've been told it's Tim Lester's show. So while I don't think Kirk would have zero input, I don't think Kirk would actually be the deciding factor in who's starting quarterback. I think if Tim Lester says, I want to switch and put Brendan Sullivan as the starter, I think Kirk will trust him, and he better. And that's my reason for optimism, is that Kirk is hands off now and Tim Lester is running things. So if Tim Lester says this is what we're doing, hopefully Kirk is willing to go along with that and won't override that.
I guess he would have to define what struggle means, Andrew. Like, first and foremost, is struggling missing wide open receivers, is struggling decision making, is struggling not being able to climb out of the pocket when he needs to take off. Like, define struggling, because Cade McNamara by and large doesn't turn the ball over. And if he doesn't turn the ball over, I don't see a scenario where he's replaced, because you're going to have bigger problems, offensive line, or can't establish the run. Like, I think there's going to be bigger problems than switching out quarterback if Cade McNamara is struggling. I think it's going to be, pressure's getting to him. Coverage is great. Like, I don't see – Cade doesn't make unforced errors. So the struggle is, throw a couple picks in the first half and you're up like 10-7. Maybe. I don't know. But I don't think so. I don't think that happens.
I think you're on to something with define what struggle means. For me, with Cade's injury history, I think if it becomes clear, watching him, that there's things that make him nervous. I want to, David Eicholt and Sean Bach talked about this on their season preview, and David wants to see Cade take a hit and get back up, right? And I think that's the real test here, is he might get hit here in week 1. It's a lot different than the fall camp action where you don't get hit. Maybe you get shoved at most. You don't take a full contact hit.
Right.
And as we talked about, Illinois State is like an attacking defense. So there's going to be a time where they generate pressure. It happens in every game. Unless you're the best offensive line ever, there's going to be pressure. So I want to see Cade handle true pressure from defense, take a hit, move out of the pocket, make a play, move out of the pocket and run for a first down on a 3rd and 3 or something like that, that kind of thing. Can he do those kinds of things? Because he's been able to do those kinds of things at points in his career.
Yeah.
If he can't do some of those things, and he's missing open receivers and he just looks skittish, that's when maybe I would consider it to be a struggle.
Let's be fair. We haven't seen an open receiver at Iowa since the opening drive of last season, Seth Anderson.
Right.
I don't think we've seen an open receiver since the first drive of the game last year. So, Iowa receivers getting open is not a thing, or not at least a consistent thing. So, missing wide open receivers is definitely going to be a short leash, I think. And Andrew, I believe that they're returning a top 10 total defense from FCS football last year. So they're not, this isn't I get it's 2 different levels of football. I get it. But, you overlook a team like this, like we did North Dakota State. Everybody else overlooked North Dakota State. Iowa State did, stuff like that. I don't know. It can, it can snowball. It can snowball. So I don't foresee that, but I don't think these guys are scrubs. I think Cade will see some pressure at times, and I think those questions will be answered, is what I'm getting at.
That's good. That's kind of what you want in week 1. You don't want someone that you just blow up by 50 and
you don't learn anything about your team, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we will learn something about the team in an Iowa victory. You mentioned wide receivers not being open, and that's really just what I want to see with the scheme. Like, does the Tim Lester scheme have receivers running open, meaning that there's going to be plays for the quarterback to be made? I know that the running game is going to stretch the defense side to side. Like, it's not going to be just straight run up the middle. There's going to be a heavy amount of outside zone type plays. We're going to look to stretch that field side to side and make linebackers and safeties think about what's coming in the running game. I know that that's coming, but what I want to see is when it's throwing time is how does that running game, making the defense guess side to side, does that impact the passing game? Because and hopefully there's a quick passing game, because Brian Ferentz favored long, slow developing plays, which put a lot of pressure on an offensive line the past 2 years that wasn't so great at pass protecting for a long time. I think Tim Lester's passing game is going to look to be more of a quick passing game. Get the ball out fast, make quick decisions, hopefully some run after catch, right? Get the ball into like a Caleb Brown's hands, or let him make plays after the catch, kind of a thing. And that's really what I want to see. I don't want to see long, slow developing pass plays anymore. I want to see quick passing game with that stretch running game, stretching the field side to side.
100%.
And if we see that, then I think that's going to make for a moderately successful offense.
Moderately successful. Top 75, baby. Let's go.
Is all we need. It's all we need. I'm telling you, the bar is so low. That's all we need.
100%. 100%.
So that's where I'm at for week 1. Defensively, I don't know. I mean, I want to see the defensive line get a little bit of pressure, have a good day, because I think that is where we are maybe not as deep as other positions, and we have some question marks. I want to see someone emerge maybe on Saturday as this can be our third down pass rusher. It's third and short.
Can Aaron Graves turn the corner? Because everybody's saying he is, or is in the middle of. But we gotta see it. We gotta see it on Saturdays. I
kind of think that the guy that's gonna turn the corner and be a good pass rusher this year is Max Llewellyn. I'm pretty high on Max Llewellyn, and I know he's going to play quite a bit more than he did last season on that edge spot. And I want to see Max Llewellyn get after it. And we've heard good things about Brian Allen too. He's torn it up in some scrimmages this year and in previous years as a true freshman and true sophomore. I think we need to see some of Brian Allen on Saturday too. So that's what I'm looking for defensively, is can a pass rush be generated?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be one of the big question marks of the year. I don't think the back seven is a question mark for me at all.
Yeah, I want to see Sebastian Castro look like the first team All-American that he is. That's what I want to see specifically. Like, Sebastian Castro is my favorite player on this team by far.
Some poor guy from Illinois State is going to take a hit that he is not going to enjoy. No. I feel bad. There's going to be some receiver or tight end or running back that's going to just get hit by Sebastian Castro. And here's an interesting thing. I read something that basically said that he's the closest thing we've had to Bob Sanders since Bob Sanders.
Except he's bigger than Bob. So, like, he could actually take it.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He's a hammer, dude. I love watching him hit people. He is violent.
Yes. I love that too. So I will look forward to that. Special teams. I hope this guy doesn't get too much work, but if he does, hopefully it's some good stuff. Reese Dakin. Hopefully I've heard he maybe doesn't have the leg power, but he kicks it and it has a little bit more hang time than Tory Taylor's punts. So I think that will be different for Iowa fans to adjust to. He doesn't maybe have the leg power that Tory did, but he'll hang it up there in the air, which will allow the coverage team to do good things.
So here's a question, Andrew, that we haven't even considered yet. What's the weather forecast look like for Saturday?
I thought it was going to be like 80s and sunny pretty much. Looking it up.
Just kind of curious, going
High of
into game predictions and whatnot. I mean, I've said 24-10 17 times, but if the weather is shit, I might adjust that.
Yeah, a high of 85. It'll probably feel a little bit warmer than 85. No sort of storms or anything. It's just going to be sunny and 85.
Damn, that is hot.
Yeah. I mean, for an August game, yeah, it's not the hottest season opener.
No.
We've got season openers that are close to 100 degrees.
Dude, it was 100. It was 101 here in DC yesterday.
Crazy.
There have been like 10 straight summers where DC didn't see one day over 100 degrees. This was the 6th day. Hottest summer on record.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Crazy.
Well, so I don't think weather will be an extreme factor.
Weather not a factor. Got it. Okay.
Not a factor.
I just figured I'd throw in my 5 cents there. Like I didn't know what I hadn't looked it up. So
it's a good consideration.
No.
Yeah, I think you said 24-10. I'll go on and make a prediction. I can't remember what I said in the season opener.
It doesn't matter. This one counts more because at least we get to adjust fire from what we see moving forward, right? Because
I think we're going to score 40.
Holy shit!
We scored 40 against Western Michigan, which is FBS school last year, with that putrid offense. I think the running game is going to have a strong showing. I think Kamari Moulton and or one of the other running backs, probably Caleb Johnson, finds the end zone. I think we run a couple of touchdowns in, and I think Cade throws a couple in, and maybe the defense collects a few. So I think we're scoring 40.
I would be so damn happy if we score 40
Saturday.
points. I'd be so damn happy if we score 40 points.
Yeah, I think it's happening.
I don't think so, man.
I think it's going to be fun. So,
oh man, I hope
I
so.
can't wait. Personally, can't wait. So, if anything, it's going to be better than last year offensively, which is great. So, I'm looking forward to that.
Like you said, it can't be worse. Literally, cannot be worse.
Yeah. Real quick before we end, we can talk a little bit of other Big Ten teams because there's some playing tonight. Even Rutgers probably going to beat Howard.
Howard University, baby, DC. Woo!
I think Illinois goes on later tonight. The bigger one though is UNC Minnesota, and I believe Darius Taylor, if I heard right, the star running back from Minnesota is not playing.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
So, and there's some weather up there.
Yeah, they already postponed that game an hour, so it's not going to kick off for another hour 15 or so.
Yeah, I think that is a recipe for a North Carolina win and the under.
That's unfortunate because I have Minnesota money line tonight parlayed with the over in the Colorado North Dakota State game.
Oh, there's a game that's going to go under. And also,
you said that one's going under too.
Yeah, because I think NDSU is going to play a physical, slow game that Colorado. It's going to frustrate Colorado because they'll want to go fast.
Oh
and
man,
NDSU is just going to slow
don't
everything.
Say that because the number's a monster too. It's like 56.5.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's the reason that it's a monster. Yeah.
Are you saying my parlay is going to be over too?
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
I guess we'll find out.
What I really like is North Dakota State to cover, maybe even outright win. But yeah, I think
that's the thing, man. Like North Dakota State has this like aura over it from like upsetting these Power 5 teams, Iowa State included, right? But how long has that been? A decade? A decade ago?
Yeah, it's because nobody is dumb enough to schedule them until Colorado.
I'm just saying they're not even winning natties in the FCS anymore, are they? Like they go to the game and then they get rough shot by South Dakota State or
yeah.
So I mean, I don't think that they're at the standard that we're used to or that we've seen personally.
Okay.
So like I'm not saying that I don't think Colorado covers, because I mean the number's 10.5.
Right.
Pretty big number for a team that can't stop a nosebleed. So
but I guess what I was just trying to get to was at least the Big Ten has some decent games in week 1, because we've got the UNC Minnesota game, which I think it'll be close. And then Saturday, you've got what we already previously talked about, Penn State, West Virginia. Other than that.
Rutgers plays tonight. They're a 55.5-point favorite.
Yeah, right. Illinois is a huge favorite tonight too, over Eastern Illinois. But I guess I'm just looking at the rest of the Big Ten to see what's up. So
you think Penn State's on upset alert?
I do think Penn State's on big time upset alert. I don't like it, but I think they are.
No, I would love that, actually. I would love West Virginia to beat them. I hate James Franklin with a passion, and everybody's like, all these national writers like, look out for Penn State, going to make the college football playoff. Drew Aller this and Drew Aller that. Shut up.
The one thing I'll say about Penn State brought in the coordinator from Kansas to bring some of that Kansas flavor to their offense. So if you watch the Kansas offense in recent years, pretty good offense.
They also play tonight in a 52-point favorite.
Yeah, Kansas is going to score a lot of points this year.
They play Lindenwood. Haven't we played Lindenwood in basketball before?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, I wasn't aware that Lindenwood was an FBS program.
Are they?
They are.
They're an FBS?
I think so. I think it's their third year.
No fucking way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Nah, I don't know, man. I didn't even know they had football.
Other than that, outside of that, I mean, it's a good college football weekend. You've got Georgia, Clemson. You've got Miami, Florida. You got the big one, Notre Dame, A&M. So, and then USC, LSU on Sunday night. So, yeah, it's good to have college football back in my life, man.
Hey, do you want to go through, before we wrap it up? Do you want to go through picking Power 4 champion, Group of 5 champion, Final Four college football playoff? You want to do that?
Lead us through it. Lead me through it. You go first.
So I mean, we'll just pick the Power 4 conferences first. We'll start with the ACC alphabetically. Florida State's already behind 0-1, so I'm not picking them. I think it's gonna be the Hurricanes, man. I think the U is gonna be back this year.
Man, I think the U has all the talent in the world. Man, I can't pick them. I know they're in the hole, but I'm gonna take Florida State to figure it out.
Holy shit! You're starting in the whole 0-1 and still taking them?
Yeah.
You can take Clemson. You could take NC State. You're going to take the 0-1, the only team that's 0-1.
I'm going to take the team that's 0-1. I think Florida State's going to find a way to figure it out, man.
Whew. Okay.
I don't know. I think it was maybe just a weird situation there. Maybe I'll look dumb, and that's fine. But I'll take Florida State. But
okay.
My backup would be Clemson.
That would be impressive if you're right.
Yeah, it would be.
Because I think DJU is just trash. That's what I think.
Okay.
He was trash at Clemson. Oregon State, he was okay, but again, no one in the Pac-12 played defense.
Right.
And then back in the ACC, I don't know, man.
We'll see.
We'll move on to the Big 12. You go ahead and fire Big 12.
Cyclone fans aren't going to like this.
You're going to say Kansas State?
Yes, I am. I like the combination of Avery Johnson and DJ Giddens. Will Howard moved on because he was forced to move on. They're all in on them. I think this is a big bounce back year for the Kansas State Wildcats. So I'm going to take K-State to win the conference. But I think they'll beat Utah, probably. I really like Cam Rising. And I think those are probably the two best quarterbacks in the conference. So,
gosh, Cam Rising's got to be a doctor at this point too, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's his 6th year.
And he's eligible for a 7th, isn't he?
Think so.
Oh,
but
my goodness.
Yeah, I'll take K-State over Utah in the Big 12 championship.
I also have the Wildcats.
Oh gosh.
But the other Wildcat, Andrew. I'm going Arizona. No one's talking about Arizona. Number 21 starting the preseason poll. They got a quarterback, and if you got a quarterback, you have a chance. I think it's gonna be an all Pac-12, actually, Big 12 championship game. I think it's gonna be Utah, Arizona.
Oh gosh. I mean, I could.
How embarrassing would that be for the old heads of the Big 12?
Well, I think Utah has a chance to just start running that conference right away.
Definitely in football. I mean,
yeah,
no
in
doubt.
Football, yeah, I think they might just start running that conference right away.
But yeah, I'm going Arizona in an upset. No one's picking Arizona, and I don't know why. Because I feel like they might have the best quarterback, even including Cam Rising.
Got it. So then let's go SEC before we do Big Ten. SEC. It's just so hard to pick anyone other than the Georgia Bulldogs. It's just I can't. I mean, I maybe thought about Texas, and then I think their top 2 running backs went down for the year. And then they have to replace quite a bit on that defensive line with Murphy and Sweat off to the NFL. I can't pick Texas. I think Texas has a great schedule, a favorable schedule. But I think Georgia just reloads and takes care of business. And I think they take on Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss has really bolstered themselves as well. The fighting Lane Kiffins. I think Georgia beats Ole Miss in the SEC championship.
Fuck that guy, dude. I'm never picking Lane Kiffin in anything. Did you see the whole all of a sudden, all these new TikToks are happening, right? Like this very, very mindful, very demure. Have you seen all this shit?
Oh my gosh. This is the first time we've mentioned TikTok on the show.
And then
it'll be the last.
And then have you seen the ones where they say, where they're all standing around, they say, "Give me my money." Like that one? Did you see the Ole Miss video of that and Lane Kiffin did it? That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But he's a piece of shit. There's no way I'm picking Ole Miss in anything ever in life. Any team that's coached by Lane Kiffin. You know what? I think Brian Kelly and LSU get there in the West this year, and you're gonna have to knock off Georgia. It's a prove it type thing for me. I think Alabama does regress in year 1 of Kalen DeBoer, and by regress I mean maybe 9-3. You know,
right?
First year.
That's bad. That's bad by their standards.
Bad by their standards for sure, but I think kind of almost expected with their schedule. Their schedule's not great. I'm gonna take LSU, Georgia, and I'll pick Georgia as well.
Got it. So we're not buying any of the Tennessee or Missouri hype on this show.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
Missouri's trash.
Okay. We'll see. All right. The Big Ten. I'm a firm believer that Ohio State's the best team in the nation. Ohio State absolutely should win a national championship with the roster they got. Ohio State's winning the conference. They'll beat Oregon to do it.
So I kind of feel like that's low-hanging fruit, taking Oregon and Ohio State, right?
It is, but those are the 2 best.
They're the 2. Yeah, I mean, you got the best quarterback in Dylan Gabriel and Oregon in the conference, and then you have the best talent. But Ryan Day can't beat Michigan. So it's again, I think it's a prove it type thing. And I'm not saying Michigan's going to be the representative either, but I don't necessarily think that they beat Michigan either. I feel like Michigan might eliminate Ohio State from Big Ten championship contention in that last game of the year. So that being said, oh man, the conference is wide open for me. Oregon for sure. You know what? Because of the schedule, I'm going to say Iowa.
There we go.
Oregon, Iowa. Because like in our preseason prediction, if they win 11-1, they got to be up there somewhere. And did you see the Big Ten release they actually finally released their tiebreaker order? All that.
Yeah.
nonsense?
Yeah, I saw. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, I'm glad.
There's like 6 or 7, and like the last one is coin flip. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ!
Oh my gosh! If it comes down to a coin flip, I'm gonna lose it.
I think it's almost mathematically impossible for that to happen. But
well, leave it to the Big Ten to mathematically make it possible somehow.
Oregon, Iowa, Oregon, in their inaugural Big Ten season wins the conference.
So then, basically, if Iowa makes it to the Big Ten championship at an 11-1, they're making a playoff. Yeah, playoff lock.
Yep.
I think they're gonna miss the championship by virtue of Ohio State going 12-0 and Oregon going 11-1, but make it to the playoff anyways. 3 Big Ten teams in the playoff. I think Iowa's the third one in.
So again, you're selling Penn State. You don't think they're going to make? You don't think
selling Penn State?
You don't think they'll crack the top 12?
Selling Penn State, selling Michigan. Don't believe in those teams.
I'm not necessarily selling Michigan. If they go 10-2, are they going to keep a 10-2 Michigan team out?
It just depends because remember that one spot that's reserved for
Group of 5.
Group of 5. So
is a first round bye, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Like I saw a scenario like they ran through brackets of what they would have been in 2023 and 2022 on College Game Day last week. And I swear to God, there was a Group of 5 team in there that was a top 4 seed. Like it was the number 4 seed, got to buy. I could have swore. I still don't understand how they seed them motherfuckers either. Like they even explained it, and I'm like, I don't understand. You either win your power conference and you get it or you don't, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that how that's supposed to work?
Yeah, I think so.
Or if you're like in a scenario like Georgia was last year, you lose the big the SEC title game and somehow fell clear to 6, which obviously was bullshit. They were clearly a top 4 team in the country.
I think so too.
And still, in my opinion, they jobbed Florida State because they earned it on the field. But anyway, not here nor there. Final Four. Just because Ohio State didn't win the Big Ten and whatnot does not mean that I necessarily don't make the semifinals. So I'm going to say Ohio State. I'm going to say Georgia. I'm going to break through with Miami.
Oh, okay.
And who's going to be the last one? I think the Big 12 gets shut out in the semis myself. I don't think Utah's good enough to win 2 games. Although, I mean, they're already in the quarterfinal if they win the Big 12, right? So they only have to win 1 against a lower-ranked team. No, I don't think you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to throw Utah in there. Yep. Utah. I like Kyle Whittingham. I like him as a coach. I kind of wish, you know, if Kirk Ferentz had moved on, that we'd pursue him maybe, but he's 64 years old in his own right. So like he would have been a bridge choice. But yeah, okay. That's who I'm going with. What did I say? Ohio State, Georgia, Utah, Miami. Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, Ole Miss.
2 Big Ten teams.
2 Big Ten, 2 SEC.
ACC and Big 12 shut out.
Completely shut out. Ohio State will play Georgia 1 versus 2. Ohio State will beat Georgia. Ohio State national champions.
I don't think so, man. Ryan Day can't win. Ryan Day can't win the big game, bro.
Okay, well, but if he doesn't win a national championship with this roster, he should be gone.
Oh, 100%.
That's my bold statement there.
If he doesn't beat Michigan, he should be gone.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Unless he lost to Michigan and then won a national championship, then I think it's complicated.
Wasn't there? Gosh, what was it? Over the summer, like some school fired their baseball coach, like in the middle of the season, and they went on like this magical run, like clear up through the super regionals. Like they made like the college baseball playoff, I think, like the college World Series.
It wasn't that they fired their baseball coach, wasn't it? That the school was shutting down.
Oh, there was a case of that too, I think.
Okay, the school. That's the school I remember. Is the school shutting down, and then they went on a major run.
I think both of those scenarios happened in the baseball in the baseball playoffs or World Series.
Okay.
There was a lame duck coach that coached him clear to the super regionals. Some like won the conference tournament with like a losing record and all kinds of shit, and like made it through the super region or to the super regional, and then the one school that shut down. Crazy shit. But looking forward to Saturday, man. What do you want the game plan to be? I am going to the game watch party, but I am going to the closest Iowa alumni watch party to me. So I'll be home probably 30, 45 minutes after game.
Yeah, I think we come back and we do a little bit of an instant reaction, talk through some of the stats, see what's up. So play it by ear if you get waylaid trying to come back after the game watch party, which can't happen with the public transit system out there.
Well, the good news is it's only like 7 stops and I don't have to change lines. So the same train I get on is the same train I get off. So
there you go.
We're
Sweet.
good. We're good.
Sweet.
Well, the last time I tried to do it from that particular bar, that was a shit show. So we're not going to do that again.
No, we can't do the live on location.
No, that was pretty rough.
Unless we have some fancier equipment. Looking at you, Chris Shipley. Just kidding. Last item here: high school football starts this week too.
What game? What game are you at?
I will be at Urbandale home opener. They are playing Indianola. Indianola actually slightly favored, I believe.
Wait. There's people that set lines on high school football? There
are people who set lines on Iowa high school football
that's got to be fucking Trent Condon.
On 3
Media?
On 3 Media is doing it.
Jesus Christ.
There's a guy named BC Moore who has like a computer system that sets stuff too, and power ranks teams and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know how you do that with no data. Like this is game 1.
He based it off of last year's data, so it's not very good until about 4 or 5 weeks into the season.
That's crazy.
Very crazy.
I'm gonna give it to Indianola. Aren't they Class 4A?
Yeah.
So Class 4A Indianola at Class 5A Urbandale.
Yeah. Valley plays Southeast Polk in week 1, and the Ankeny schools play each other in week 1 too.
Boy, the boys union, the boys up in Boone really blew their load in week 1, didn't they?
They really did. So, yeah. So it should be an interesting game, competitive game there for me this week. But tune into the Iowa Sports Radio Network. It's not just KXNO anymore.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a conversation. We'll have to have a conversation offline about all this nonsense that's happening now. It's crazy.
We will, because it is crazy. So that's gonna do it for me. Any final thoughts from you, Drew?
No. I will say, like, P.S. shout out Caitlin Clark breaking the rookie record of 3-pointers yesterday with 9 games to play. So I mean, she's just gonna own that record for like ever and ever. So just continues breaking records, and they beat Connecticut for the first time this season, which is a pretty big deal considering how the first 2 of the 3 games of the season went. just getting trucked by like 20 plus. So big shout out. They're one game within 500, 7th seed in the playoff standings right now. They could catch Phoenix. They're only one game behind. And if they do that and secure the 6th seed, Andrew, they get Connecticut, the 3 seed in the playoffs instead of having to play Minnesota or the Liberty, which both teams have handled the Fever as well. So if they earn that 6th seed, man, look out! Like they might be live to make a run to the final.
Yeah, I'm really actually convinced that they're making a run to the final. They're going for it, man.
So is Dave Portnoy. Did you see how much money he put on them at plus 10,000 to win the final?
Holy crap! No.
He got a plus 10,000 line at DraftKings to make $10 million. He dropped $100,000 on the Fever to win the final.
What?
$100,000 at 10,000 to 1, $10 million.
I can't even fathom.
I think
trying to blow that amount of money.
I think his bet has a good chance.
Yeah, it does with the way they're kind of playing now. So
dude, Kelsey Mitchell dropped her 6th straight 20-plus game. She's awesome. I think she's outside of Caitlin. I think she's my favorite player on that roster. The emergence of Lexi Hall and her sniper shooting is pretty awesome. Aaliyah Boston has been consistent, especially I don't know, the last 10 games or so. I think they got a shot to make a run to the final. I don't know if they have enough to win, but the way they're playing, they can compete with any of them. So. And the thing is about the WNBA playoffs is they're only best of 3 series. So
right,
you only got to win 2. So
yeah, you can catch lightning in a bottle. It's not like the NBA playoffs where it's best of 7.
I'm not even sure what I think even the women's final is only a best of 3. I don't know if they're going to make it. I feel like they need to change that in the future. Might be some more Caitlin Clark effect, at least a best of 5 for the final, for Christ's sake.
Probably.
I think a best of 5 would be best served for a WNBA final, because if you just win 2 games, I don't necessarily think that the best team is winning all the time.
No, but I mean the Aces have won every championship for the last 3 years, right?
Last 2, they're going for a 3-peat this year, and you see what Vegas is doing in the regular season. They're only 2 games over 500 or 3 games over 500. And they're like the 4th or 5th seed, but. I thought last year the New York Liberty and Breanna Stewart, who was the MVP last year, right? I thought they were the better team than Vegas, top to bottom, but they lost 2 games. That was it. So I mean, I don't know. I think you'll see some expansion in the WNBA playoffs in the future, and they should. So. Yeah,
we know Caitlin Clark's winning the Rookie of the Year. Anybody who still thinks it's a debate, I don't know what you're doing.
ESPN published another fucking article today about, who's got the upper hand in Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese? Like, shut the. You just keep baiting this shit, man. Like,
I think the conversation now is A'ja Wilson the MVP of the league, or is it Caitlin Clark?
It's A'ja Wilson, man. It's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's not even close. It's not even close.
Exactly, but the distance between A'ja and Caitlin Clark is the distance between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yep. So, anyways, that's where we'll finish the podcast tonight. Looking forward to an awesome Saturday coming back with you all. I can't wait. It's good to have football back in my life. I needed it.
Go to Three Beards Media social media. Look at the shirt. Look how dope that is. It even looks like Kinnick. And I mean, I know there's copyright issues, but look at this shit. That's pretty sweet.
No, that's a sweet shirt. Go get yours immediately. You'll need it this fall as we're going to be winning a lot of games. So we'll be back next Thursday. We'll be back on Saturday and then again next Thursday. So as always,
there might be a caveat there, Andrew.
What?
We might have to go on Wednesday at some point because I go to Ocean City for my bachelor party Thursday morning.
Oh, never mind.
And we're going to the original beach bar, the original Green Turtle for Cyhawk. We all got our Hawkeye outfit planned for the Saturday of bachelor party. We're vested.
Let's go! Can't wait.
So we might have to shift to Wednesday next week. Just a FYI. Well, shit, I don't know how we're gonna do that because I got bowling. We'll talk it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll be back. Don't worry about it.
Yes, we'll be back. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. As always, go Hawks.
Go Hawks, baby.